Chapter 28, Implementation, the Basic Curriculum. In broad strokes, the program would look something like this. Students would spend part of their time learning vocational skills in construction trades, such as carpentry, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, etc. This would be done by Christian businessmen who have their own companies or who work as independent contractors in the various trades. The availability of such men may vary in any given location, but ideally there would be at least a few different trades available. The other part of the time would be spent learning the content of the Bible, exegetical and hermeneutical skills, and spiritual formation. This could be done by local pastors as well as by the men who work in the trades. Finding sufficiently integrated individuals who really grasp the goal will be the main challenge, but not insurmountable, as there are many pastors who have worked such jobs earlier in their careers, largely out of necessity. How the time would be split could vary, whether it was divided through whole days or half days working in the various categories, but each day would have elements of both. Devotional lessons would be centered around the narrative flow of Scripture and the importance of the actions of obedience. The goal would be to relate how the truths of the Bible make our work more meaningful, and how our work helps fulfill the purpose God has for our lives. In a 9 to 10 month span, individuals would be exposed to multiple trades and learn some basic skills in each, and be sufficiently trained in the ministry tools to be an asset to any local church as an active volunteer or small group leader. If this was all the student decided they wanted to invest in this program, it would serve as a sufficient gap year program that would hopefully leave them feeling that their time was well spent, and the skills acquired would be valuable to any future homeowner, regardless of what career they end up in. For those who decide that they would like to pursue further career studies, the summertime, which is traditionally a busy season in the building trades, could provide an opportunity for them to earn money while they continue to hone their skills with the businesses that are affiliated with the program. In the following years, students would focus on one trade that they feel drawn towards, learning more advanced skills, and they would have the opportunity to teach the new students, both in the devotional lessons and in the more basic skills of the trades. This will help foster in them the necessary tools for a self-reproducing system. As they progress in a work pattern from apprentice to journeyman to master, they also progress from converts to disciples to leaders within the body of Christ. Those who are committed towards this model, but who plan to head into vocational ministry, could spend a larger portion of their time working on academic studies, whether through online programs or local schools. Depending on the denominational affiliation of the church, it may also be possible to obtain significant educational credit towards a ministerial certification. The ability to split time between schoolwork and construction jobs could help ease the financial burden, as they earn money while still building community with newer students on the job. Similarly, at a certain point, students could have the opportunity to apprentice with a local pastor, learning the ins and outs of full-time vocational ministry firsthand. This real-world experience could be an invaluable addition to the resume of those applying to work for churches in the future. One-on-one time will also be a necessary element. The journeyman will learn and help be held accountable to the masters as they do the same for the apprentices. All the skills learned will be designed to be self-replicating. A program such as this could be run simply out of a church and within the business or job sites of the local individuals who want to participate. Housing could be integrated into the program to help foster other elements of personal and spiritual development and community, but it is not necessary. As the program continues to run and develop, many contributors will be able to develop devotional materials that pertains to the goal of the programs, so that those who decide to start similar programs will have a variety of resources to rely on. Variations on the basic program. The most basic version of this program will be distilled into written materials, including much of what is written here, with some devotional content. The main point to get across is the integration of the spiritual with the physical, connecting the body and the hands with the mind and the spirit. A book like this could be used to help fathers teach their children how God is present in everything we do, to help them learn the mundane side of those metaphors that fill the Bible and help them steer clear of a crisis of purpose. From a practical standpoint, they do not need a career in the building trades, but could substitute that experience with smaller building projects, learning woodworking as a hobby, or home repairs and gardening. At another level, these materials could be useful for Christian businessmen who have young employees that they want to help grow in spiritual maturity. This would benefit not only the young men, but the older men as well. Many of these men are undervalued by the church, but they can serve a vital role in the kingdom, and they should be given the opportunity to share their wisdom with the next generation. This could also be used by churches as a summer camp type program with middle school or high school students. The principles are very adaptable to a variety of circumstances. In a more expansive setting, the program could be set up around a facility designed to teach and train on site, with a production shop and an integrated business model. The program itself could run a business and, depending on what trades were involved, partner with local churches. Local churches need building maintenance, renovation, and reconfiguration of spaces, as well as the production of signage and special sets for events like Christmas and Easter. Having worked for a church that had a full workshop with production equipment to make almost anything, they found various opportunities to make use of the services available to them. Unfortunately, many other churches do not have access or information about where to find people to do this work. This results in either noticeably unprofessional work from volunteers or paying high costs to companies that have no vested interest in the long-term success of the church. The program could also be expanded in various directions. My conviction is that physical work, using the whole body, and detailed work requiring skill with the hands is especially necessary for young men. But once these basic skills have been learned, perhaps in the first 1 or 2 years in such a program, the principles could then be expanded to many other types of work. Churches do need videographers and web designers, as well as musicians and designers. Currently, there are more internships at churches that teach these kinds of skills, but they lack the full integration of mind, body, and spirit. There could also be a curriculum designed around creative endeavors that do not necessarily result in a marketable skill, but are meaningful and enjoyable nonetheless. Things like painting, pottery, gardening, or recreational activities could be taught as well. And if they were offered in the afternoons and evenings, they would be available to both the students learning trades, as well as anyone who is interested in learning a craft in a way that is integrated within a Christian worldview. This brings up 2 other possible areas of expansion. One is towards women. Unless a program is offering housing to students, there is no reason that women cannot also participate, though it is likely that the program would not appeal so directly towards women. But the same principles could be applied to a similar program aimed specifically at women who desire to recapture some of what has been lost from the traditional feminine skills. This would represent something like the division of labor typically seen on an Amish or Mennonite community. Women are typically having more success at finding careers through the typical academic channels, so that may not be the emphasis, but a program could help supplement that. This topic may be visited again at a later time. Another area that this could be expanded is to younger boys and girls. There are now an ever-increasing number of specialized charter schools and private schools that emphasize certain career paths, such as STEM schools, or certain worldviews, such as the Christian K-12 schools. Perhaps a K-12 school that focused on the Christian worldview through the lens of this emphasis on the integration of mind and body could do well for young boys, especially those that are diagnosed with autism and ADHD. This could be broadly similar to the Montessori model of education, but adapted towards a Christian worldview and a realization that there are distinct differences in the interests of boys and girls. In the fullest possible iteration of a program like this, something like a full communal environment could be developed. With a large parcel of land, not only could there be ample room for various production spaces that could be used for teaching and income generation, but also farming and gardening spaces, craft spaces, and even areas for the more technological multimedia skills to be learned. However, unlike a traditional commune, the emphasis would be on people staying for a while to learn, and then bringing those skills back out into the world to be implemented in local communities. This model could implement some of the ideas embodied in Francis Schaeffer's L'Abri community. The difference, perhaps, would be that while the work there served as a background to the intellectual pursuits, this community would forefront the vocations and seek to integrate the spiritual and intellectual. Hopefully, those who move on to more traditional academic careers could take with them the understanding that the university is not the sole depository of knowledge and wisdom. Commercial applications. The most straightforward money-making enterprise would be to simply work for existing companies. To monetize the training portions, production of sellable goods can be used to give an ample opportunity to teach basic skills. The nature of some businesses is that certain tasks are always in demand, while others are called upon much less frequently. Waiting for the necessary circumstance to teach an apprentice how to perform certain tasks may not be conducive to guaranteeing a certain level of exposure within the time frame of the program. Creating production items for sale could help create a steady stream of repeatable, teachable tasks for new students to master, while also bringing in revenue. From the standpoint of a woodworking shop, this could be anything from coasters and cutting boards to small benches or boxes. Signs and other promotional materials could also be made to promote the program. Other skills, such as plumbing, may be difficult to teach in this way, but there are creative uses for items made out of PVC pipe, and such things could provide opportunities for students to practice. Creative problem solving and outside-the-box thinking will be key here. As mentioned before, churches have many needs both for creative jobs and maintenance. If the program itself had enough access to all the necessary trades, churches could pay a fixed amount to retain the services of the students and teachers as a maintenance service. While occasional parts may require additional funds, this would have the benefit of allowing churches to budget in maintenance costs before emergencies are needed, and allow the program to have a reliable source of regular income. Of course, a program could be run as a nonprofit and be eligible to receive tax-deductible donations. This option may also be available to programs that are started under an existing church. Care should be taken to ensure that all financial decisions are completely above board and that none of the benefits of being considered not-for-profit are being abused or even questioned. Complete financial transparency is the best choice for dealing with nonprofit status and charitable donations. Paid workshops could be a good opportunity for advanced students to begin learning the process of teaching others. There is a big interest in DIY home repair and improvement. However, many people who have attempted such projects without experience soon find that they are not as easy as they look. There could be a demand for those interested in getting hands-on instruction before committing to a project. Another solution to multiple problems could be to rehab houses. Depending on the conditions, students could live in the houses while they are being repaired and remodeled, or they could serve as student housing in the future after they are complete. This could also be a good opportunity for students who are ready to go off on their own to purchase a home. Community life. The time spent outside the hours of work and learning are equally important to the success of this program. Two main areas that contribute to the overall goal are involvement in a household community and participation in a local church. The church is the venue that will likely provide all the avenues for growth and success. Not only is it the logical place to find the right sort of men to help teach the necessary trade skills, but it also provides a possibility for group meeting space and housing opportunities. While the trade program may be run out of one particular church in a city, it is not a necessary requirement that all the participating students attend that church. In many ways, it may be more beneficial if the students attend a variety of local churches. Because the plan is adaptable and not restricted to any particular set of doctrinal or confessional beliefs, the ability for students from a variety of Christian traditions to learn and work together will foster the important realization that God works in many ways. Participation in church should go beyond simple attendance to active involvement. What that means may vary due to circumstance, but the desired outcome would be that the young men participating in this program would be seen as a vital asset to their local churches. Because the needs of local churches vary from the mundane and the physical to the communal and spiritual, there should be ample opportunity for young men to serve where they are most gifted and where they need the most growth. While the specifics of the responsibilities remain undefined, they should be clearly articulated as they are implemented for each program and each student. This means staying accountable to the leadership of the program and for the leadership to have ongoing communication with the local churches the students attend. This will help create good connections between churches in the local community and keep the focus directed on helping to train quality leaders who will be a blessing to any community. The second area that can be facilitated through a variety of local churches would be in finding stable household communities to house these young men. It may work best that the students attend the churches of the families that host them. Being a contributing part of a stable and healthy Christian home will help the students learn how a successful family operates. While this has been mentioned previously, the relationship should benefit both parties. The students should be available to help in any needs of the household within the time reasonable, and the host families should be willing to provide not only food and shelter, but time and attention as well. It is not necessary or realistic to expect a hosting family to include the students at every meal, but some regular pattern of family mealtime with the students will help give living examples of how a godly family interacts. 35% of students come from single-parent homes, and many others come from divorced or blended families. Simply living and eating with a married couple and their children will give them the opportunity to shape their own future on a model of success. Other churches may have the means and opportunity to provide dormitory-style housing for prospective students. This can also be an instructive learning environment, provided some mature adults are able to help students navigate the process of living on their own. If that model works best for a particular program, local churches should still encourage families to invite these students over for a family meal once a week or more. There may also be some students that are married and or have children. If they have their own place of residence, it would be beneficial for local church families to volunteer to serve them and perhaps bring food over on a regular basis. The simple practice of expanding meals beyond the confines of the nuclear family will be of great benefit to all the parties involved. Next steps. While this outline covers many different subjects, much more could be said about everything contained within. To embody the spirit of this program, the plan must be implemented in real life. There will be new and unforeseen problems that arise. There will be setbacks and opposition. Not everyone will see the value or support this endeavor, but hopefully many will see the potential. While I work to personally develop a working model, perhaps others will find the inspiration to try their own. At the very least, perhaps this will resonate with individuals to have them consider ways to reintegrate the splintered fragments of everyday life and find the beauty and meaning in the common and mundane.